I am deeply honored to be here among such dedicated and inspiring individuals. I thank my colleague for introducing me so generously. Yes, my mother wanted me to be a priest. I don't think my father wanted because he never mentioned it even once. But it wasn't because I was interested in getting married or getting children. Priesthood is a calling. You must receive the calling. If you don't receive the calling, it has nothing to do with kids, although I have them, but that's what it is. It's about the work of God. But I'm happy where I am. With Governor Edward Kakembo Nsubuga for inviting me to share my insights with Rotarians and their friends. This opportunity to contribute to the impactful work Rotary undertakes and to make a keynote address on the theme titled Keeping Hope Alive is actually a privilege. It is not every day that one addresses a large group of people whose common denominator is their love for service to humanity. I define hope as the fuel that keeps a person going, even after some exhausting undertaking. When hope is lost, so does incentive. And failure often occurs not for lack of initiatives, but because there was nothing driving one from one stage to the next. Failure may occur where there was no feeling of possible success or a better day tomorrow. The Kingdom of Buganda appreciates the role of Rotary, not only in Buganda and Uganda, but in the entire globe. We commend Rotary because your activities generate hope, and this gives communities a reason to aim higher. When you look at the young men who are standing here and the stories they told us, I think they've got reasons to aim higher, to achieve better. When individuals and communities are empowered, they are enabled to believe in the possibility of a better future, thus inspiring them to take action towards greater horizons. A critical look at the activities of Rotary shows a series of undertakings which but can only generate hope, particularly in the Ugandan context. 116 years ago, Winston Churchill described us as the Pearl of Africa. The children sang about the Pearl of Africa. He based that description on what he witnessed and probably in comparison to what he had seen in other parts of the continent. He noticed the mild weather patterns, the fauna and flora, the lakes, rivers, swamps, and abundant water bodies. Everywhere you look, the fertility of the soils, the wildlife. Years later, long after Churchill was dead, we degraded the environment in the name of development. Through deforestation, we settled, cultivated, and built factories in wetlands. I don't know what it is about investors and the wetlands. I don't know whether factories only function when you put them in swamps. I never understand that, but it happens. We dispose of plastics wantonly. I always get embarrassed when I meet visitors to Uganda, those who come for the first time like Brenda. Brenda? Yes, like Brenda. I don't know what she thinks of us. Disposing of plastics wantonly. In all these dire situations, it is Rotary that comes to our rescue. The Go Green, oh yes, oh yes. The Go Green campaign, for instance, makes us hope that we could possibly retain the description bestowed upon us by that British politician, by planting trees. When poor facilities for cancer cause devastation, the initiative again comes from Rotary. The cancer ward and bunker were embarked on at Nsambya Hospital when funds are raised through the Rotary Cancer Run. And whenever I see Rotarian Mwanje, Stephen Mwanje, I think about the Cancer Run and the when we suffer shortages of blood banks and even blood units, Rotary comes to the fore with a brand new blood bank at Mengo Hospital. Thank you, Rotarian Katongoli. And now let's look at the case of the boy child, whose care has been the flagship program for Governor Kakembo Nsubuga. We all know that most African communities follow a patriarchal clan system, which often creates assumptions about men's abilities. They have developed a belief that the boy child can take care of himself without need for specialized attention and nurturing. All concentration was reserved for the girl child, for whom many initiatives were drawn, and the girl child enjoyed specialized attention and mentorship. As a consequence, and all of you here may be my witnesses, the far cry has been that a number of boys have grown into non-focused adults who fail to take the right decisions, especially when faced with challenges. It was again Rotary that pointed out the truth, that children are children, whether boys or girls. Clap if you want to clap for him. We ought to take care for the boys. We ought to care for the boys as well, to love them. You know, there is this belief that boys don't need to be cuddled or you don't need to be tender with them. It's false. It's false. We've got to nurture them. We've got to teach them about life and how the world works. They don't learn about how the world works because they're men, they're boys. That belief is false. We've got to commend them for the good deeds. And we've got to correct them when they are. You know, in many families, if a girl should come back home late, the father is going to be tough with the girl. When the boy walks in, well, they ask him, where have you been? I've been playing football. And generally it ends there. And those could turn out to be the non-focused male adults. That's why the Kingdom of Buganda is proud to partner with Rotary. Our engagements, collaborations, and partnerships have filled voids which would otherwise leave gaping holes that would impede generation of and sustenance of hope. 3 years after Kabaka Mutebi's coronation, a portfolio responsible for the youth was created in the Kingdom government. That was after His Majesty realized the danger of leaving children and the youth to their devices. The Kingdom noticed the need to provide the youth with opportunities. Training was offered because leaders are not born, they're nurtured. Services are not received by mere providence. They are developed and offered. Cultural exchanges, are not merely for exhibiting values from the past. They help us understand the dynamics of the current times. Those were some of the themes that the youth ministry of the kingdom embarked on, in the belief that they would generate hope. Ladies and gentlemen, the future can only be served well by groomed, compassionate, and empowered leaders. And such are the efforts of Rotary as well. So when the Rotary Club of Bulange, which meets at the Buganda Royal Institute of Business and Technical Education in Mengo, started, and I was asked to launch it on the 15th of July 2022, I was more than happy to do so. Besides the usual attributes for which we hail Rotary, this particular club conducts business in Uganda. And hear this: few things generate hope more than a group of people speaking a language in which you think and speak. Think about it. Couple that with the fact that that group is carrying out selfless activities for the good of humanity, and the hope that is being generated is going to be kept alive. The Kingdom of Buganda wishes to build strong partnerships and collaborations with Rotary in order to leverage resources and address complex but actually surmountable challenges. The Go Green campaign, for example, has resulted in tens of thousands of trees being planted in the various counties of Buganda. The collaboration with regard to the Rotary Council Run has witnessed more and more people participating in the run, hence raising significant amounts of money for the banker. The Boy Child program ought to be run, in my opinion, a number of more other years so that we get more responsible male citizens. I've interacted with many district governors, and because you last only a year, I asked them who sustains the programs you initiate. Because if Annie Nkutu is not interested in the Boy Child, I don't know whether it will be dumped, I don't know what will happen, but I hope it can be sustained longer, because all of you are interested in responsible male citizens. In my opinion, the Kingdom of Buganda and Rotary are natural allies, and a few examples will attest to this. The Buganda Luchiko is the Kingdom's Great Council, passed a resolution several years back, making it mandatory to plant trees at Kwanjula. Kwanjula are the pre-wedding betrothal rituals. It is mandatory at those ceremonies to plant trees. And other ceremonies like Okwabi Olumbe, last funeral rites, or when celebrating wedding anniversaries, or when, at academic graduations, and when marking other major milestones. Approximately 1,000 trees are planted every weekend in Buganda, thanks to that resolution. The Kabaka Foundation and the Kingdom's Ministry of Health periodically conduct health camps, as Rotary does. They also carry out blood donation campaigns. As a matter of fact, the Kabaka Foundation was actually crowned for being the organization that collected the biggest number of units of blood throughout the world in 2021. The crown was handed over to the CEO of the foundation in Phoenix, Arizona, in the USA. Nearly 2 weeks ago, the Kingdom, and indeed the rest of Uganda and in many other parts of the world, people participated in the Kabaka's birthday run. 111,000 people participated in the run. It is the biggest paid-for gathering because everybody who participates in the run buys a kit. It's the biggest paid-for gathering of people related to a kingdom or to a cultural institution. And it's indeed the biggest run in Africa. And it's about the 4th or 5th in the world. Runs, not marathons. There is a difference. The run was one of the activities marking the birthday of Ssaabasajja Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II. He turned 69 last Saturday. The purpose of the run is to raise awareness about HIV/AIDS, as Governor Wagwa explained. To raise awareness about the scourge in Uganda. And UNAIDS, the agency of the UN, named Kabaka Mutebi II, its goodwill ambassador in the fight against the virus in Eastern Central Africa in 2017. But the role was extended to the entire continent in 2023. And in December that year, 2023, I traveled to a UNAIDS organized conference in Harare, Zimbabwe, to share with the participants how the King's involvement in the fight against HIV/AIDS has led to a reduction in new infections in Buganda and other parts of Uganda. And the message I carried was very well received. Our objective is to totally eradicate HIV/AIDS from Uganda and the rest of Africa by 2030, as per the UNAIDS plan. Now, when you talk about eradicating HIV/AIDS, you are making every Rotarian smile, isn't it? On Monday, I was talking to Hashas, those who run in Kampala. They hold a run a week after the Kabaka's birthday run. And I told them the best way to eliminate HIV/AIDS is for everyone to stop having sex so that we treat the 1,400,000 we have in the country. Good strategy, isn't it? All of you should stop. I can tell those who agree with me and those who don't. And after a thorough and efficient count, only 2% of Rotarians here agree with me. So when you eradicate HIV, you are talking about health. When you talk about health, you're talking about hope and a better life. The Nabagereka is the King's consort, organizes a royal mentorship camp called Ekisakate, where children between the ages of 6 and 18, boys and girls, are inducted in matters of culture, leadership, integrity, empathy, sports, and many more. So when Rotary talks about the boy child and the desire to have responsible adulthood for the boys, then look no further than Ekisakate and Nabagereka. That's why I told you I think we are natural allies. We carry out a significant number of projects to promote entrepreneurship, especially for the youths. Many of you may have heard about CBS FM's numerous PEOSA programs in the different counties, and some of you here may be members of the Subido's and Bogo Sacco, another program under which the members are urged to be productive, to save, and to invest. All these programs are about empowerment. Our major focus and core age group, are the youths, the young people. And as you may know, the fact that the future belongs to the youth isn't a mere adage, but it's the reality when you take the demographics into consideration. Those below 30 years are more than 70% of the Ugandan population. As such, 70% of Ugandans need the fuel that will keep them going all the time. That fuel is the hope that such empowerment generates. Young countries like Uganda are faced with many challenges. Uganda is only 120, 30 years. We're a young country. We should always talk about the challenges we face. We should raise awareness. with a view to finding solutions eventually. But we can also initiate solutions, however humble. The services Rotary renders do not solve every challenge. All challenges cannot be eliminated at once, but they uplift our spirits. They call us to action. Those services make it appear possible that tomorrow could be better, and they transform dreams into tangible results. I am an eternal optimist, and I believe every cloud has a silver lining. And, Rotary activities, help me sustain the hope that is within me. These days, everyone talks about mindset change. I hear leaders talk about mindset change as if it were some magic wand that will miraculously solve all our problems. You know, the Karamojongs were suffering from hunger, and somebody wrote in the papers, mindset change. How can you tell somebody who's starving about mindset change? You give them food. The world needs practical leaders and people or groups that directly deal with the challenges we face. That's what the world needs. The Rotary family is an agent of hope because you see the problems, you study the problems, you initiate solutions, you become the change that you desire. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called pragmatism. The talk about mindset change without pointing out the real actions that can provide the answers is mere rhetoric. And as the old African saying goes, if you want to go fast or to arrive quickly, you travel alone. But if you want to go far, you travel with others. Rotary rallies numbers through its membership, and you tackle seemingly difficult obstacles. Through your collective efforts and unwavering dedication, you have touched lives and you became a constant source of hope in the world. I usually tell people that getting to the summit is hard, but maintaining the front position is even harder. That I'll tell you the same, Rotarians. As populations get bigger, as economic needs expand, and as the quest for social solutions gets more complex, the more we need you at the forefront. As you continue to inspire hope in others through your words, your actions, and your unwavering commitment, I too encourage you to continue upholding your ideals, as they so often make the world a better place for all. We always need to sustain good deeds for long in order for them to be effectively impactful. That's why I was hoping that the boy-child program can be sustained. And I thank you so much for your dedication and selfless service. Once again, I thank Governor Edward Kakembo Nsubga for inviting me. I also thank him for visiting us at Bulange soon after his inauguration. I'll be very glad to receive Governor Annie Nkutu, and I thank him for sharing with us his flagship program. Ladies and gentlemen, I now officially open the District 99th Conference.